Oh, why don't we have a camera? What's going on here then? Potato cam just not existing, apparently. Let's refresh it. Halloween from Benji. There you go. Are you ready for Mad King Says? Dun, dun, dun. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My phone just buzzed. Is that it's telling me it's time to stream? Oh, no. I think I just got a tweet. Literally just got a tweet from someone. Let me respond. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Sorry. Gotta be so easy to stream with a face cam, because you can take 5 seconds to type something, and it doesn't make the stream dog crap, you know? People can see that you didn't disappear. It's like that thing, what's that thing with animals, right? You, like, hide behind your hands, and then they believe that you've just vanished. That's how I think of Twitch chat. That's the kind of attention span I think people have. It's like, if you're not constantly talking, then they're just going to be like, oh, did you disappear? Anyway, hello, everybody. Welcome. Is my monitor working today? No, it's not. It's still busted. I mean, I can try it. Let's turn it on. Let's see. It would be nice if it was working. I kind of gave up about 12 hours ago when I woke up today. Yep, that does mean I woke up at 5 a.m. today. Yeah, like I've just turned it on and I can see it's wobbling a bit. You know, it's really frustrating to me as well because... Yeah, and it just turned off. It's really frustrating because I found an Imgur album of desktop backgrounds that are for 3 monitors, so like really wide. And I really like them, and I set it up. I set up like a slideshow so that every day it would change. And today it's like a pretty like green field that I'm looking at. But no. The monitor decides to break like a day after I set up. So I don't know. Or it's the cable. One of you said in chat yesterday that it's the cable, and that's kind of a cool thing if it is, and we can hopefully resolve that. So I kind of wanted to, just at the intro here, show you guys some stuff. So let's see here. Let's move OBS over. Why would anyone wake up at 5 a.m.? It's really nice waking up super early. It's not exactly planned for me. I want to be getting up at around 8 or 9, which is when I usually do. But if you get up super early, it's really nice going out and breathing in just as the sun's coming up. If you've had a good night's sleep and you're up at that hour, it is genuinely one of the most refreshing, like, nice, like, natural, cool experiences that I think you can have. It's really nice. Speaking of natural and all that kind of stuff and being outside, did you guys end up seeing the video yesterday of the cars in the cave? Did anybody watch it? I'd be curious to hear any of your opinions. Perhaps the wallpaper is animated and just switches between the proper wallpaper and a black screen on one monitor. No, I mean, that's a nice theory, but absolutely not. All right, so check it out. Oh, yeah, baby. Look at that scepter. I made it. I made the Astral or Stellar? I can't remember which tier it even is. Stellar. I made the Stellar stuff. Look how perfectly that fits the PvP back piece. I mean, they are literally the same effect, right? So this is the Stellar Scepter. And then the Stellar Focus. And I got to tell you guys, these are bitches to get. Now, you're speaking to someone right now who did the Dry Top collection and did, well, whatever else. Ex Machina from Heart of Thorns and all the Elite Specialization collections and stuff, except some of the POF ones. You know, I've been doing these weapon collections for a long time. And this is by far the, like, most effort you have to put into. It's not just a ton of Kralkatite, but it's also an enormous amount of other mats too. Like Envision crystals and stuff. So, yeah, I've made these. I've also got the staff, which my Fresh Air character doesn't actually wield. But yeah, I think Fashion Wars is basically done on this character now. I'm really happy with it. I think it looks really good. Your Elementalist has them anime high thighs on. Well, this is Zodiac legs, which I don't know. I think look good. Maybe something better than Zodiac legs. We'll see if the devs ever release. I'll tell you what, if I ever do get to do this automated tournament thing, if I get QP, enough QP, I really regret, like, Squadron. Earlier in the year when I was playing a lot of Fresh Air, a lot of people started saying, hey, do you want an AT? Do you want an AT? Do you want an AT? And I did some, and whenever I did them, we always won, right? Like, so it's like 50 QP. You only have to win like 2, and then you're done. It's something like that. And I did loads of them, but then I just started saying no to people because I was busy with this or that, or I didn't want to do this or I didn't want to do that. And I said no, and people only hear no like once or twice, and then they won't ask you anymore. And I feel bad that I basically squandered those opportunities. Anyway, if this becomes a thing and I can buy the Glorious Victor's armor box, I might go for the Glorious Victor's legs of the T3, and then that would match out. I have the Ardent Glorious legs as well, but I just don't think they look as good. They don't match as well. I don't think, anyway. Right, anyway, so yeah, the Astral stuff, and I can craft one for you guys on stream right here, right now. Would you believe it? So let's go onto our scrapper here. Oh no, I think I already did it. No, never mind, I already did it. I made the shield. I made a shield because shields are cool. It looks totally different on the preview to how it actually is, for what it's worth. But yeah, I'll show you. If you are done with Fashion Wars on a toon, that's time to start over, isn't it? Not really for me, no. I mean, what will happen is I'll get bored of those skins. And even though I put a lot of effort into getting them, I'll get bored of them, and then I'll do something else. So here, look at this shield, yeah? This is the Astral shield. So this is sheathed right now. And I think it looks pretty good already, you know, pretty detailed. The lights are rotating slightly as they're on the back there. You know, it reminds me of Aura a bit. Now, when you equip it, though, it has the effect all over it, which you guys might think looks a bit loud and a bit gaudy or whatever. But and then on the inside, this is something you don't really get to appreciate from the preview. You can kind of see it on the inside of your arm there as well. So it's actually thicker on the inside than the out. Now, the preview, this effect looks bigger on the... It's like the reverse on the preview, essentially. It feels like it's mapped a little bit differently. But, yeah. Wait, we're going to have a ding noise. Are you guys ready?
Rendering completed.
Yeah, baby. That's Game of the Day 30. You guys have only seen up to 28 so far, I think. It's Game of the Day 30 there. Which is actually a pretty good one. I teach people the high IQ plays at Skyhammer for the bonus clip at the start. Anyway, yeah, so I did those, and now that, so the other thing I was doing was, so that's Stellar, and if I come here and I type Astral, you'll see I actually have all the Astral set. So I finished Astral completely, and now Stellar is the next set, of which I have 4 now. I have the Artificing ones because they don't have Trident. And I've got the shield. But the thing is, every single one, it's not just Kralkatite anymore. Every single one actually wants Dragonite ore, wants Vision Crystals, which to me means Dragonite ore is what I'm capped on. So, I mean, it's a lot of work for every single one. A lot. You'll notice my gold is down to 985 now. Just crafting these 4 cost me like 400 gold, seriously. That's not an exaggeration. Well, getting those 4 plus the 3 remaining Astral ones, plus I have quite a few materials in excess, like these 3 steel plated DAOs, which are very expensive. So, kind of. But anyway, it's pricey, man. And as for the Kralkatite ingots, I have enough here for 5 more weapons, which is pretty good. So in terms of Kralkatite, I'm really getting there. And Kralkatite is the main thing that people think of as the difficult thing. But I'm very low on Vision Crystal related materials. And you need a Vision Crystal for every single one. So it's just really, really, really punishing. I wonder if there's a way I can get Vision Crystals in any other way. What I actually did as well is I had 100 PvP potions. I've drank a ton of them now. Because what I was doing is getting Dragonite from reward boxes. You'll see I'm actually doing the Crichton reward track. This is really bizarre to me because I personally think reward tracks are really poorly done, to be honest, in a lot of ways. And especially like these early ones, the generic core Tyrian region, like it doesn't really feel like you're ever making a meaningful choice. That's where they fall down. I mean, a lot of it's very good, but as an active end game player, it's often very binary which one you go for, you know. And there's never any reason to shake it up. But I actually realized the best Dragonite in the game are on the Crichton one, the Ascalon one and stuff, because every other tier is a champion box. And they're advertising the casino there. But so, yeah, like every other one, and this is Dragonite. And at the end, you get Dragonite again. So this is like worth like 150 Dragonite or 200 Dragonite or something. So you can pick Kryta or Ascalon or whatever. And all of it, I had a real moment where I was like, wow, the reward tracks are pretty good. This is the first time I've ever had this. And basically, sorry, we're turning the game down because the NPCs keep talking over me. And it's so difficult to try and hold a conversation when that's going on. But yeah, so then I was like, okay, which region do we want to go for? And I went for Kryta. Who can tell me why I may have gone for Kryta? Let's hear it, chat. Let's see the geniuses in chat figure it out. Also, by the way, it's great to see the Silver Tyne, who just subbed, says, woo, first stream I've caught in a while. Well, you're in for a good one, because there's going to be a lot of lore, it seems. Heart of the Mist subbed. It's good to... Oh, that was yesterday. But Nosh as well. All right, why did I go for Kryta, guys? To be fair, not many people will be making 10 ascended weapons and go, yeah, I mean, people are just going to do the newest track, or they'll do, like, Bitter Frost Frontier. Generally speaking, that's mostly what people do. I've got kind of a list of, like, things that I think PvP should have. So, like, festival queuing, for example, is one of the ones that you guys know I talk about all the time. It's just little things as well, like... So in PvP, there's a death breakdown mechanic where you can actually see all the damage you were hit by in the order you were hit by it. It's really good. It's awesome UI that would be kind of interesting to have in areas of PvE and stuff as well, to be honest. But it's really cool, the death breakdown thing. However, if you play an Elementalist, and I've recently just gone back to playing a lot of Ellie in PvP, when you Vapor form, it breaks the death breakdown. So, you know, like, it's like, come on, PvP should have that fixed. A lot of minimap things. If you're watching Game of the Day at the moment, I talk about minimap stuff a lot at the moment. You know, graying out icons and things they could do there. Elite spec icons being on the minimap would be a nice thing as well, now that we've got elite spec icons on the menus. So, yeah, I've got like that whole list of things. And one of them I was thinking of just very recently is to do with reward tracks and festival tracks. So, in Guild Wars 1... they really nailed that sense of, okay, there's a festival or a special weekend or whatever. You want to play the game a lot. Guild Wars 2 really falls down with that. Like, if you are invested in the achievements and AP and stuff for Halloween, you'll probably play a lot. But it will run out, right? It will bottom out eventually. Guild Wars 1 never really had that because there were these renewable PvP formats in the game that you got massive benefit during a festival for playing. Or like when there was a bonus weekend to do with Alliance faction, you would binge the hell out of Alliance battles or Jade Quarry or Fort Asmonwood once those formats were revived and stuff, because it felt Guild Wars really misses out on that. Now the answer for Guild Wars 2, sorry, really misses out on that. Now the answer for that for Guild Wars 2 is reward tracks. You see this Halloween reward track? If this was really good, a festival would essentially mean that people go ham playing loads of world versus world and loads of PvP because it's just so rewarding to be in those infinitely fun, renewable game types while a festival's up. And then you get all the PvE stuff on top, especially for a PvPer. That's the best thing in the world because you can play in the labyrinth between queues and stuff. Like... So, the only thing that's missing is that the reward tracks for the festivals aren't any good. And they're, like, okay-ish, right? Up to a point. But they're not great. So, how do you make them great? Well, why aren't they great already is the question you have to ask. Why aren't they great? The answer as to why they're not great is because of this. PvP potion rewards. I think, anyway. Now, the theory being that if this was, like, 10 gold every time you completed it, and it was like mind-blowingly awesome to do reward tracks during festivals, which it should be. Festivals should have a reputation in this game as like, this is it. This is where I'm really going to go BD and we are going to play a ton of World vs. World, guys. The guild is going to go heavy over this 3 weeks for Halloween, or heavy over this 3 weeks while the Bazaar of the Four Winds is, or during Winter's Day. We're going to go really hard on it. And as far as PvP is concerned, I don't care if you're in Snowball Arena or Reaper's Rumble or whatever. That's kind of irrelevant to me. But they should have a reputation for that. The reason why this isn't super rewarding and doesn't have that reputation is because people would stock up their PvP potions all year and just spam them on the major outlier reward track. Now, people already do that. They already save up their PvP potions and then insta-complete, like when a new Living World episode comes out, when the Jahai Bluffs one's done, boom, they finish it straight away. People do that, but what you want is, you don't want this to become a thing where it is absolutely the thing to do to just hold on to these all year. In a way, it's kind of nice because that gets people doing their competitive dailies. You know, the Wild versus Wild potions coming in every day, the PvP potions coming in every day, even if you already did your PvE dailies. So I kind of like that idea of design and incentive to spread people around the game's reward systems as well anyway, because, I mean, that is active gameplay, and you know, that adds a lot to the potions. But I think that's the thing. They want the potions to be kind of not about one single track and hoarding until a festival comes up, right? Which is on a rotation, unlike the Living Wild things, which are a bit more erratic, and you don't really know, and you don't know what's going to come in the final box and stuff. So here's what I would think they should do. Have a big meaty reward. It should be like a Halloween pail plus like 10G or something at the end of a reward track. I'm not being funny. Like 10 freaking gold at the end of the reward track, if not more, 20 gold or something crazy. So people really like, wow, there's good money here. And then it should just be PvP potions cannot be used to boost festival tracks. Sorry, can't do it. Cannot do it. That's one version, or if you watch me when I was having my discussions when Aspect Arena came out, another version of the whole situation is you lock the festival reward track, you bind it purely to the festival mini game, which is kind of a different take on things, and maybe you can progress your festival one and your regular one at the same time or something, and then that's a thing. And I would be up for that as well if Snowball Fights you had that, but I mean that's probably a little bit against the design of what reward tracks are supposed to do, so I don't think they'll go for that. But yeah, and that's the only thing they're missing, really good festival tracks, because this isn't good. Not the Halloween ones. Some of them are a little bit better, but you know. A free 20 slot bag is kind of nice. Is it today in the game, in the economy as it now stands? With bigger bags and stuff dwarfing it for a whole reward track, a 20 slot bag? I don't know, man. I don't think that's just me that's saying that either. The end Halloween reward is worth 12 gold, is it? This is worth 12 gold? The Halloween bag is worth 3 candy. Can I sell that bag, though? No, I can't. It's account bound. Come on, that's not the same as getting 12 gold. It's not any gold. It's a bag. And if you don't need a bag, then GG. They're alright. Look, I'm not saying that they're terrible. I'm not saying that they are the worst things in the world. I'm not saying that there is no use. If you guys can wriggle your way into finding some reason to do it, that's fine. What I'm saying is they need to be amazing. There's a gulf of difference between, oh, there's something I can plausibly imagine doing this for, and it being a really prominent aspect of a festival, right? There's a gulf of difference there, and that's what I want. The other side of the coin, I want it to be this really good thing. That's what I think they should be. Alright, anyway. I'm now doing Crichton reward tracks. What was the other thing that I wanted to talk about? Astral and Stellar, I did those. I kind of wanted to show that on this stream just because I crafted most of the other ones on the streams as bonus bits. But I crafted these ones off stream, so hey, whatever. Oh, and here's the other thing I wanted to do. I'm going to make the Acolyte armor today. I'm going to get my last general collection. It's been, I can't believe it's been over a year since I've had this. This was like my pride and joy, having every single one in the game done for so long. And now it's like, oh no, I don't have this. So it's Halloween, I'm going to do this. So we're going to do the intro and we're going to make this straight away, getting Mad Memories, the complete superstition. And then we'll be on lore, guys. If you're new to the stream, if you've just tuned in, if you didn't catch yesterday's, there's like a whole library of stuff to read about, which I'm going to do here on stream instead of a YouTube video, because apparently that's smart. So, yeah. Oh, my God, I got a host from Rocker. Dude, that's awesome. Rocker, it's a bit of weird. So, everyone who was watching Rocker, thanks very much. It's good to see you. It's a bit of a weird timing because I've only just gone live and I'm going to intro the stream in now. Thank you very much, man. Remind me that you did that at some point so I can host you in return. What reward track is most profitable? It's a good question. Lots of people ask it. You'll find multiple Reddit threads breaking down which one is. If you're like me and you want Dragonite Ore because all you do is PvP, then yeah, something like the Kryta track. Oh, did anybody find the answer, by the way? The reason I'm doing Kryta is because Champion Saddlebags and you can get that item. There's 2 different drops from saddlebags that give you exotics that have sigils of nullification on them. Is it nullification? I can't remember. Anyway, the super pricey sigil now. So this is what I reasoned is the best thing. Benji says PvP gives you league gold on top of the tracks. I know that not all rewards are from this. Believe me, I'm more than familiar. The reason I had 1,400 gold recently is almost entirely from liquid gold. I'm saying though that's there anyway. What you need is during a festival, you want that feeling that people want to play the game a ton during a festival, all right? I'm not talking about PvP rewards in general. I'm talking about festivals. You love the Mad King Spud? It's amazing, isn't it? Really, really, really cool face cam. All right, okay, anyway, so yeah, that's it. I'm going to intro this in. I'll see you guys. I won't be very long. Just maybe 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes, and yeah, we'll get it going. So see you guys in a second. Alright, I'm back. See, that didn't take long. See? I told you it wouldn't take long. That was really more just for the, what's the word? The consistency of wanting to do it. So, yeah, I just saw I had an interesting comment on Wooden Potatoes 2 that, they're not gonna know I've responded here, but whatever. Chingaling just said 59 seconds ago, I haven't really played Skyhammer for a very long time. What's the difference between Skyhammer and Treb on Kylo? Why do people go to cap the hammer, but the Treb is bad? So the answer to that question is, Treb obviously is a permanent aspect of Kylo. Anyone could go on it at any point. Now Treb can be broken and counter pressured. In which case you would repair it and stuff. Back when it was an active part of the game and the meta, it was really fun. And Kylo's actually a pretty boring map, to be honest. I mean, the terrain on Kylo is really cool still, and there's a lot to talk about there and fun to have there. But in terms of like secondary mechanic, it basically is it's kind of like No, it's the most blank slate map really, because nobody plays with the mechanic at all. So I really want the devs to improve that. But the reason why Treb is like, they both do the same kind of thing in that they do massive damage over nodes, but Skyhammer does a double strike on every node of the map. So it's six. It's like firing 6 Treb shots all at once for the cost of a single cap point. So it's 6, which is pretty good. But also, the most important part is it's a guaranteed neutralization on all 3 nodes. The Kylo Trebuchet won't do that. If you Treb a node, you just do damage around the node. If you Skyhammer a node, you neutralize it as well at the same time. And so that's really what makes it very prominent. If firing on an empty node with Treb was reducing capture progress, it would instantly become a mechanic again, straight away. I don't know whether the devs would want to do that. It's a weird thought, isn't it? I wonder how that would affect the game. What do you guys think about that? Every time you Treb a node, it loses cap by like maybe 33% of its cap. So 3 Trebs onto an uncontested node means you lose it. But if you're standing there, evading the attacks, you can hold it. That would be such a potent mechanic. They must have playtested that at some point, right? But that's the big difference, really. Treb is kind of a weird thing as well that the devs moved away from, because it kind of eliminates your regular build attributes and potential and capabilities, because once you're on Treb, you're using the Treb skills, and it's kind of like not Guild Wars in a way. It's sort of a simulator and like an overarching kind of thing. Now, that's not entirely true, because in theory, if Treb was good and you were a threat by using Treb, people would aggress you at it, and then you have to defend yourself and you use your regular skills there, and then there's even some interesting like build diversity that comes from that. But the devs are really weird about that stuff as well. They've always had two choices when it came to Conquest, whether they let people actually build into divergent comps based on secondary mechanics or not, and at most junctures they've decided not to. So for example, a recent nerf that many will say was justified because it's, you know, it's the outlook that the community's got now and the game's got. But an example of this would be Mirages able to use their Mirage Mirror, their dodge roll, right, while capping buffs at Temple of the Silent Storm. You know, that's like, that was broken and OP and felt weird that one of the 9 classes had such a potent ability to do that, and it got nerfed away. But that's like an example of if years ago when stuff like that started to creep in, the devs could have encouraged it or reduced it down. So for example, going back to Kylo, back in the early days, Swirling Winds could block Trebuchet shots, and uniquely it could block Trebuchet shots. This was true in World vs. World as well. Other projectile mitigation didn't actually work, but Swirling Winds did for some reason. It was coded a bit differently. You guys might remember that there was a lot of stuff like that. CPC was kind of similar for a while too. Hell, even in the game today, if you jump while doing certain mechanics, you can block projectiles that you're not meant to. Man, I got a really, I feel like I've been bitten by a spider or something in my sleep. I got a really itchy shin. You know, but anyway, that was an interaction. That really was an interaction. And the devs could have said, no, we think it's cool that Ellie's have got this thing on this one map. So maybe we'll release a new map where these guys have got this thing. And where Treb is concerned, you know, like there's this idea that you have your trap ranger set up for defending the Treb, right? Which obviously isn't a thing, but you can imagine the concept is sound, right? That you trap your way up to it, and in some ways that's quite exciting, you know. And then the really truly godly PvPers in tournaments and stuff would have very different swaps and sets based on the map. The game never went that way though, and generally they want you to feel okay using the same build no matter what map you're on, just with minor changes. For example, a Guardian might swap a sword on Kylo to port back up onto the mid node if they get CC'd off. Again, that was more of a classic strategy rather than something really useful these days, I think. But yeah, you know, stuff like that. It's both my legs as well. It's both of them. I feel like I'm just very itchy. My elbows as well a bit. So yeah, I don't know. That hopefully answers the question to some extent anyway. Yeah, Bacon's all mine says, is all mine says I need one more AP. It's true. I had a whisper from someone earlier. Oh, wrong thing. I had a whisper from someone earlier. I didn't even realize this. I'm at 34,999. So with one more point, I get my Exalted Achiever and my massive chest. But I think I will get that when I do this collection here. So, hey, you guys are going to see that. Yeah, I definitely will, because I get 2 AP from this. So what we have to do is we have to go to a vendor that I think is in Lion's Arch, and they sell recipes for cobs, and then we'll see what the recipes request for the armor, and we can make the armor. What is my opinion on ArenaNet making the race achievement easier? It's an interesting topic, I guess. I missed out. You can hear a little bit of me talking about it on the Boots video. I still don't know. Has he uploaded that or not? You can hear me talking a little bit, because he got it before they made it easier. Now, there's kind of that thing where it's like saying, what's the point in achievements? Because they're just like medals for trying. They're participation awards, so they have no value. Blah 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 blah. Why do this? I mean, it's tricky. How do I line up my thoughts on this? Basically, some content is only content because the achievement exists. And in those situations, I think the devs are okay in leaving them as participation rewards. Does that make sense? When the content is only being played because of the achievement to an extent, which is largely how the community in MMO mindset is end up structuring itself in Guild Wars in a lot of ways. The word achievement in Guild Wars is becoming a bit of a misnomer. Sometimes, though, it depends how we package what we think of content as, right? So, like, if you have a whole map that you've added and it's got loads of things to do and some of it's easy and then some of it's hard, I don't see the point in nerfing the hard thing. However, if you've got a slice of content and it really only has that one objective, and that objective is too hard, I can see why they would do the nerf. And you might be upset with it, right? Like, just from a standpoint of, oh, they're making things easy for, you know, they're gearing too much around casuals and blah, 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 blah. And that's fine, and my heart beats the same as yours in that situation. But you gotta read the room, to be honest, and the room is Guild Wars 2, and the devs kind of have fostered a culture for that kind of outlook and that kind of attitude, and to the game's detriment, I will emphatically argue, but that's what they've done, and so I don't know whether it's a fight worth picking. I think it's fairly in line with what Guild Wars is and does, and you know, we can relax about it a bit. That's sort of how I feel. Someone's saying zoom out. Why? It's nice. This is immersive, man. It's immersive. Zoom out. All right, so hold on. This is not the vendor, clearly. What can I buy from him? I've got so many minis and things. Look how many cobs some of this stuff costs. I got the witch's hat at least. What is this? Mini Halloween Gordon. Oh my god, it's the it was this released last year. I guess this must have been released last year, right? I can get mini Bloodprint on Shackles of Madness skin. Oh, they're kind of cool actually. Oh my god, it's both. Oh, because they're gauntlets. Hey, I actually kind of like those. There's so much stuff I haven't really looked at. Endless Halloween Enchantment. Alright, well, no, that's clearly not the vendor. What other vendors have we got? That's Drewburst Ghost. We got some here. Halloween vendors down there. So let's go look at these guys. Let's ride our spooky skimmer. Yeah. I think some people have nearly got the achievement without using mounts and just using Executioner's Axe. Yeah, Boots mentioned that, I think, on the video, which is pretty cool. So yeah, anyway, and I mean that's kind of my thoughts about it with the achievement. If it's really there to be hard in the first place, I guess. Touch of Frog. What's this? Requires Touch of Madness plus 40 cobs. A Touch of Fog. Oh, I thought that said frog for a second. Sorry, so wait. This is a torch, right? Oh. So it's just smoke. Wow. And that's new from this year, is it? Yeah, I thought it said frog. I did. I thought I was reading frog. I was like, what? A touch of frog? Hell yeah, I'll get a frog. And, you know, it's not that crazy because there's frogs here in the Lion's Arch decorations. Oh, not the decorations. It's just Lion's Arch itself. It's a mini that costs 40 cobs. It's fog, not smoke. Oh, my God. There's a British panel show called Would I Lie to You? Maybe some of you guys know it. And basically the premise of the show is... someone's given a card and they have to read out a statement from it. And they've never read the card before, but it could be something true about them, or it could be, a lie. But they have to read it barefaced, and on that moment, they get interrogated about this potentially spurious fact. And people have to discern whether they're lying or not. So as an example, let's say I've just picked up a card and on it says, I have never been on a train. And then everyone's like, wow, that's a bit weird. You live in the UK, trains are everywhere. What do you mean you've never been on a train? And then they get to ask me questions about it and I get to defend my statement. Now, it might be true, in which case I try and make it sound like I'm a bad liar. Or it might be a lie and I try to... because I want you to guess incorrectly at the end of the round, right? That, you know, am I lying or not? And yeah, one of the things, and they get comedians on it, and one of the questions is the guy picks up the card, and he says, "I get really angry when people can't tell the difference between mist and fog." And then he has to put the card down, and everyone's like, "Okay, so what's the difference between mist and fog?" And he has to try and figure out the actual. He comes up with some crap like fog is in the morning and mist is at night. I think it's the same thing, isn't it? It's all just a variety of water vapor. Anyway, look, we need these. We're getting our AP. We're getting Exalted Achiever. The thing is, I don't want to get the tailoring ones. These ones here, because I already got these from the achievement, and these would be a waste. I don't know if I have enough cobs either, so we'll just go through. Cobb keeps making me think of the main character from Inception, by the way. Alright, there you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to need the insignia as well. So I only have 3 left. Where's Cobb Exchange? Where do I do that? Is that at the main guy, maybe? Lee Mack versus David Mitchell go? Well, in terms of, like, being a good comedian, I think, obviously, Lee Mack is, like, light years ahead. He's actually... It's funny because I've been very... I guess I would call myself a fan. I've watched very closely pretty much everything David Mitchell has ever done, and I've enjoyed a lot of the shows and a lot of the work and stuff. But and I've even listened to the guy's biography on audiobook. But in truth, I don't actually have that much respect for his wit or his opinions or his intellectualism, and I think a lot of his cachet, if you will, is actually misplaced in the eyes of the general public. I don't actually think he's all that in any way. He's the kind of person, the more you learn about and the more you sort of get to know and see how things tick, the less interesting and impressive they are. It's a slanderously horrible thing for me to say about another human being, but there you go. But Lee Mack, I'm still at that level where I'm like, the guy's a genius. He's very, very, very fast, very, very, very smart, and generally all around very likable too. So I don't know. Anyway, where do we get cobs from? Oh, here's a cob. So that's going to cost me 1,000 candy corn, of which I, of course, don't have very much. So what if we just go... Oh, yeah, check it. Oh, no. I lied to you earlier. I didn't spend, like, 500 gold or whatever it is. I also bought this festive Nika, okay? Because I didn't realize this, but they sold skins. This is not a mini, guys. They sold skins on the gem store at Winter's Day after Heart of Thorns came out for Stronghold escort NPCs. And I don't think they've ever come back on the gem store since. So I'll tell you what, to the TP Barons out here, for a 5% commission, I'll give you this little bit of advice. Buy these up, because I don't know when the last time these were actually sold on the gem store. Or who the hell would ever buy these, because Stronghold is just a joke, right? But yeah, I bought one of these because I want all the skins. Because I'm at that point now where I'm like, I have every single PvP reward in the game. what else do I go, except the gizmos. So what else do I go for? And I'm getting these, and they're really expensive. There's like a festive Nika, and there's a festive Grim Savard, I think, as well. They're just like in wintry, you know, jumpers and stuff. Right, candy corn. Oh, I could just buy the cobs straight up, I guess. All right, I'm gonna make you all shudder here, but I'm just gonna buy like 30. No buy order, just gonna buy them straight up, and then we'll go see what we can do. You always accept donations of stuff to fill up your collections. Wait, what do you mean? Buy them in case of a big Stronghold rework? Oh, dude. I mean, the sad thing is that they do seem to be I mean, murderable. There needs to be more murderable maps in the game now, right? And they're doing more team deathmatch with 2v2 stuff is the current focus. I don't believe any of that is what PvP needs. But rounding out Stronghold a little bit more, I don't know. I'll tell you what, I really, really do believe in festival queuing. Like, I should have play unranked, play ranked, and then a third box that says play festival, whatever that is. And that cues me into proper snowball fights. Pre-mades that I can play with and against, real queuing, with real, you know, not hot join, drop in, drop out, actual playing. At Winter's Day, it should be Snowballs, should be Reaper's Rumble or the Labyrinth here at Halloween. Hell, let us vote. Just throw the pie chart up. Have it as a matchmaking thing and have the pie chart come up and we can vote on which one we want to do. Winter's Day, maybe throw the Bell Choir in as well if you want. Have your pre-made Bell Choir, do a DDR off if you really want. I don't know. Aspect Arena for the other one. They should do that. And anyway, they should have that. And then I think Unranked should be more of a mixed bag. Murderball should be available for voting sometimes. Courtyard Team Deathmatch should be available for voting sometimes. The only thing they can't do is Hall of the Mists. But they could do Hall of the Mists if they keep it round-based and people are happy to just not participate in some rounds of the 2v2s and they cycle through everyone. I mean, that would be really weird. But that's what Unranked is, you know? It's not full serious gameplay. I don't know. They could do stuff like that. Something definitely really weird has happened to my skin. Either that or I've been bitten a lot at night. Alright, anyway. So we got the cobs, and I don't know why I'm coming back here. Let's go this way. Check my mail. What is this? Oh my god, bacon's on mine. That's really nice. I don't actually accept personal donations, but that's very, very sweet of you. Here, you can keep those. Thank you very much. Oh, I never read this either. Once again, Halloween falls across Tyria. The doorways between our world and the Mad Realm are opening, and the ancient Crichton monarch, Mad King Thorn, walks the streets of Lion's Arch again. I've assured the Captain's Council that it's all relatively safe this time, but I'm sure they'd appreciate a brave adventurer like yourself making an appearance. Not to mention the opportunities for field research in the Mad Realm itself. Visit me at the Grand Piazza at your earliest convenience. Okay, Magister Tassi. Right, so let's see what we got. Aren't I reading the Joko lore? I am reading the Joko lore today. Absolutely, yes. That is a plan. So that's the Black Lion stuff, which I got for tickets maybe 2 years back now. Essences of Halloween combined with cured leather squares to create a mystic chest. Got the rewards. This is starting to feel very Guild Wars 1-y with the mess of rewards everywhere. This is not correct either. You? Here we go. Right, so... Oh, look at this. I don't have any of these either. Maybe I should pick those up. And I only have a selection of these. Well, we'll see. Alright, so Armorsmith. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then tailoring we can ignore. Alright. So, and we are on our engineer. This engineer is like my ultimate crafter. Has every single crafting discipline except the first ones I did on my main, which is over on my Ellie, which was tailoring for light armor, artificing for elementalist stuff, and dueling. And then later scribe as well. Oh god, we accidentally hit that. But yeah, we are reading the Joko lore. Just sit back for that for a second. I just realized you guys haven't been able to hear the game the entire time. I'm really sorry about that. I guess I muted it on the intro and forgot to unmute. You haven't been hearing the spooky sounds of Halloween. Alright. Huntsman. No, not Huntsman. What am I talking about? Leatherworking. And what's it called? Lunatic, right? So how hard is this going to be? Here we go. Lunatic Noble Boots. We need... Oh, it's just super... It's ultra basic stuff, right? Except the insignia, which is a gibbering skull, Terrier's best nougat center, and high quality plastic fangs. All of which only have one of each. So, what we want is 12. But I'm going to want a couple of extra ones. So, I'm going to go with 20 for each of these. Just so we got some left over for what other random stuff might appear later. And then it's gossamer patches here. But the gossamer patches, I should be able to craft a lot of. I just need to buy a lot of thread. Which this guy's happy to sell. So let's buy, like, I don't know, 1,000. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. We bought 1,100. Okay. Deposit all of that. Right. So we're going to need to make 12 of these. Oh, I got to go to the TP now. 12... But each time I craft the patches, I get 5 thingies. So I don't even need that much actually, do I? Because you get 5 out each time. Unless the recipe cost 5 as well. It might have. Probability of a New World video soon. I would say quite low, considering I've been so terrible at any kind of video recently. And also, I don't know. I'm very, very lost with the New World thing because, I don't know. I'm not sure what kind of community I'd be stepping into with that. It's an interesting idea, and there's obviously been news. That's the other main thing about New World right now. So it is 5 each. So we can, and we craft 5 per time. So it is literally just type 12. But yeah, I have been watching their Twitter and stuff and all the little videos they do as promos. I had somebody offer me as well. They said, hey, I'm in the alpha or whatever, and once embargo lifts, I can tell you all about the game and you can do a video if you want. And I said, oh, that sounds really good, and I haven't heard from them since. So I don't know when their embargo lifts or what's going on with that, really. But it looked good. It reminded me a lot of BDO. Did I say that out loud on the streams recently? But one of the teasers they did, it looks visually, it's like BDO without the pop-in. Like wide, flat, open plains, monsters picking daisies in exactly the same way. And I guess that's just sort of a generic MMO appearance, to be honest. But yeah, it reminded me of BDO. Christ, just the amount of gold going into it? Going into what, sorry? What's this? It's 2 skulls per insignia, not 1. Oh, so we've only bought half the amount of skulls that we need. Alright, that makes sense. Well, that's fine. I'll buy 6 more skulls then once we've done with the first set. So there's the mask. Insignia we don't need to make. Leggings we do. So we can make some trouser paddings. Trouser panel. Ashes of Creation NDA is lifted for the alpha this weekend. Really? So Maestro, do you watch really closely this stuff? Are you like, are you a frequent browser of RMMORPG with me? Where they're always hot on that stuff. Oh, here you go. So we got the 2 AP before we've even finished it. Actually, I thought that we'd need all 3 to be done. Sweet, so we get 2 AP at that point. We get another 2 AP when we do the next armor set, and obviously the big reward. But that has put us to a pretty big threshold, I guess. That puts me to Exalted Achiever, and I believe no one is actually at 40k yet. I'm pretty sure. Now, they fixed the thing where you get lag when you do this. So in terms of followers online, oh, that's not good enough, is it? Because it's listing people online at the start. Some of my followers are extremely high, and obviously this is like a ridiculous kind of... I'm kind of lucky in that I get to look at people's AP in a nice way. It's kind of cool to see how many people are online, by the way, through the followers list there. Oh, actually, it's not that many. Come on, it's Halloween, guys. What's going on? Anyway, 35 I'm pretty happy with. That does mean that this is a pretty premium title here, Exalted. What's next after Exalted? Does anybody know? Can anybody remember? Does it show already for me? No, I've got to go a lot further before I can see the next one. And I get another pinnacle weapon. Now, I usually just start on the artificing skins and work my way through. But I am kind of curious about the flame, if it casts an interesting light. And the pistol, if it has an interesting sound effect. Bow. Which one's this? Hammer? Avenger. Greatsword. Here you go, the scroll. So I will probably pick up the focus, to be honest. The ward is kind of cool. I know it looks really, really messy, but it's kind of cool. It's Furious Achiever. Hey, that one's actually kind of cool. I like Furious Achiever. Yeah, I'm going to go for the focus, I think. Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen. That's like crowdfunded. Alright, there we go. The Pinnacle Scroll. Sweet. Massive achievement chest we can open up. We get Siege, which I'll inevitably just sell. 33,750 karma, which is pretty good. Some heroic boosters. A level 20 scroll. Total makeover kit. Box of fun I'll just drop. Mystic Forge stones, largely ignorable. Right, so we needed more skulls, didn't we? Well, hold on, let me see. So that's leatherworking. And now we want to go to armor smithing. And then once we're done with this, guys, we will go check out the lore. Right, so the Templar Greaves. Oh yeah, you get 400 gems as well for that. I don't really have a plan for those right now. But yeah, that's true. The 400 gems is a pretty big part of it as well, isn't it?
My assistance.
Yeah, the level 20 scroll is a bit weird at this point in the game. Considering we're being just freely handed level 60 scrolls and stuff. All the scrolls were a mistake, guys. All the scrolls were a mistake. Alright, let's go gloves. Hold on, what was this person talking about with skulls? Because I've got everything I need. We're still going through just fine, aren't we? Helmet casing. Because I already made all the insignias I need. Did I already have... Oh, no, hold on. Yeah, I guess I just already had the stuff. Legging panel. And then the pauldrons. Sweet, and I get a new back piece. You know, it's kind of funny because I actually use one of the Halloween back pieces quite frequently on one of my sets. It matches with the Binding of Ipos really well. So getting another new one's kind of interesting. But this one's like just super ghostly, isn't it? I don't know whether it's actually up my alley. Let's equip it. Don't care what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether that one... I mean, it's kind of cool. A little bit more of a subtle back piece, maybe, right? It's kind of cool. What's the flavor text on it as well? Let's have a look here. Though you cannot read its pages, this long dead tome weighs heavily on your back. You can hear the whisper of voices from beyond, debating truly awful puns. Damn, I thought they were actually being grim for a second there, but no, they make it into a joke. Damn it! Alright, well anyway, that's kind of cool. There you go, complete superstition. And I'm going to put my Zerk one back on now. Yeah. Right, so... that feels pretty good. Back done with all the basic collections in the game. Rare ones... I mean, I really should have Gold Fractal Master done at this point, but I just don't care about fractals anymore and I haven't done them for a while. This as well, actually. How's my... POF currencies going? Elegy Mosaics. I have 68. So just a few more funerary weapons. Just a few more. And then we'll be done with that. Which shield is that? Yeah, it's the Stellar Shield. Hey, I like it. People are asking straight away. Yeah, you can tell it's a good shield when people are asking. Alright. It's a 10 out of 10. It's rare. Very rare. Very few people have the Stellar stuff. That's my main, like, goal at the moment with the game. Yeah, and then the other stuff, Super Adventure Box stuff, which, yeah, whatever. Right, okay, so I guess we go into the Mad Labyrinth now. And I guess we can do it on the Engineer, why not, right? Oh, come on, what? I about-faced. Why did you about-face me afterwards? That's one of the rarest collections you have. Which one is the rarest collection you have? Because the stellar and the astral stuff isn't actually a collection. I mean, it is in human terms, but in terms of as a gameplay, a function of the game, it's not. Right, in we go. There are so many fashion collections in the game, but it's good to give folks something to strive for. What do you mean fashion collections? Collections where we're meant to be grabbing, like skins, is that what you mean? Because a lot of the basic collections aren't even that. They're just like, get spoons or get various bits of junk. Like when you start out at least. Right, okay, so the Thorns Trophy Shelf. Now this unlocked after we lied about pretending to defeat a ton of Joko's stuff in Mad King Thorns' name. We have a number of new tomes seized during combat with Palawa Joko's armies. Feel free to peruse Joko's tedious scribblings at your leisure. Okay. Read the diary of Palawa Ignatius Joko. So he wrote a diary. What is this? Oh, I've got to get my head on for this. My eyes are a little bit blurry, a little bit fuzzed out here. Alright, so. The diary of Palawa Ignatius Joko, the Scourge of Vabi, the Undying, the Eternal Monarch of all. Do not touch. It's kind of funny to think of him as keeping a diary as well, you know. To all the ones I've hated the most, why couldn't you have been worthier? First there was Zuri. We were 17. I admit that I fumbled a bit and was regrettably unsure of myself back then. But I was young, and youth should excuse a bit, don't you think? I was so very offended by his audacity that I was not my best. The imbecile had the nerve to challenge me for the premier place by the side of my necromancy teacher. It was before I became a lich. Back when I thought another might be hold on. Whoa. So first, hold on. Zuri. I thought that Zuri... I was reading this whole thing with the perspective that Zuri was like his wife or girlfriend or whatever from Alona that we heard about in Guild Wars 1 and was referenced a little bit in Guild Wars 2, if I remember rightly. But I guess not at all. Hold on. Let me just... Yeah, there is no page for Zuri on the Guild Wars 1 wiki, so that must have been something else or someone else. I thought it was a woman called Zuri. Zuri Adil is the daughter of the Village of Purity leader. Okay, that's... She's in the Palawa cult in the Desolation. Really? Alright, let me reread this then, because clearly I misinterpreted what I was looking at. What made you lose interest in fractals? What could ArenaNet do to make you interested? You know, I actually think they're probably in a really good state right now. It's just that I've not gone back and got like that core and just started doing it regularly again. I think if they make the instabilities a bit more pronounced, more gameplay affecting, and more variant, right? In terms of every day I go in and the actual instab's different. Problem is, I don't think they can do that because I think most people who are actively engaged with fractals at the moment don't want impactful fractals. They want to farm and they want it to be really smooth and they don't want to think very deeply about the format and they don't want to think deeply about the game. And that's kind of the truth. So I think that if the devs ever did something where the instabs were more punishing, which is basically, you know, the same thing. They have to be more punishing for you actually to have to focus on them. For them to be more impactful is to make them more challenging, right? I think if the devs do that, it will just lead to a lot of people sort of whining that they're frustrating and stuff, and so I don't know. But no, I like them. I genuinely adore Fractals. I think it's an amazing format. I actually think it's the best format of endgame that the game has. In terms of a game system. Raids are more fun, certainly, but... Why is it designed that you get attacked while reading lore? What is this? Outrageous. Alright, let's kill this gargoyle. Okay, let's go back through this. The Diary of Joko. So when was this written? Recently? To all the ones I've hated the most, why couldn't you have been worthier? So Zuri was someone he hated. We were 17. I see, it's not someone he was in love with. It's someone he hated. I admit that I fumbled a bit and was regrettably unsure of myself. See, this is what threw me off. I admit that I fumbled a bit and was regrettably unsure of myself back then. Who doesn't think that about their relationship when they were 17 years old? You know, young love, right? I admit I fumbled a bit and I was regrettably unsure of myself back then. But I was young and youth should excuse a bit, don't you think? I was so very offended by his audacity that I was not my best. The imbecile had the nerve to challenge me for the premier place by the side of my necromancy teacher. It was before I became a lich, back when I thought another might have something to teach me. Me. Ah, the naivety of youth, to think one could ever be my better at death, undeath, or, well, anything for that matter. But I digress. This is awesome, man. So we're hearing about him before he was a lich, and he was a little bit more rounded, and he was a little bit more of a normal character and human and function of Tyria. That's awesome. That is really honestly so cool. They say that it's weird, right? Because we're always changing as we grow through life, right? Like, and the question is, are we becoming more narrow-minded and stupid and self-assured, or are we becoming more empathetic and more sensitive to the issues of others and blah 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 blah? And Joko, having lived for hundreds of years, right? I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm not going to turn this into some massive discussion. Generally speaking, I have very little respect for the elderly. I think a lot of elderly people are very ignorant, very set in their ways, very biased, very ugly people, you know, outwardly nice and outwardly pleasant. But I think most old people are pretty scummy, to be honest, with some gross, you know, at least here in the first world where I mostly interact, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that old people are by their very nature that way, right? I'm not saying it's human nature to be sort of that. Anyway. So the point is that if we, generally speaking, think that old people aren't really worth much in today's culture society, you can imagine Joko after all these years, just how backwards and horrible and just like, you know, self-assured he is by that point. Anyway, Zuri was surprised when I stabbed him in the back. Literally. In retrospect, wait, what? Zuri was surprised when I stabbed him in the back. Literally. Oh, he's... Not the surprise is literal. He means that he was literally stabbed in the back. Okay. In retrospect, he wasn't worth the bloodstains on my clothes. Wow. Oh, then there was Thorn. Oh, here we go. Living so long. Sometimes it's nice to come across those who knew me back when I had hoped he'd matured in death. Instead, it was more of the same. The minute he opened his gourd, I see. The minute he opened his gourd, I remembered that I find the fool to be an actual waste of my eternal time. And he's so needy. It's always the same story with him. Beheadings that do nothing to shore up his power and jokes. Again, with the awful jokes. He starts to laugh at them before you can even groan and judge. What about your, like, jovial side? This is so cool. So these two knew each other in life, right? Here you go. What was my main comment last stream? That it had, like, played with the subject material but not expanded on it. Well, here's your expansion, baby. You do like how Zuri is listed as #1. The person he hates most. Well, he says he's going in chronological order. He's saying just first this was someone I hated. Someone I hated the most. He contradicts himself as well. Here, to people I hate the most, and then later he says he's not worth my time. That's kind of that funny thing, you know, when you really loathe someone and you're like, they're nothing to me. They're not worth my time. Yeah? He's like a little girl writing in his diary. Let's see. I remember that I find the fool an actual waste of my eternal time, and he's so needy. It's always the same story with him. Beheadings that do nothing to shore up his power and joke. I like this criticism that Joko has here, that like he judges Thorn because Thorn doesn't have the same ambition for empire building, and so, you know, like that makes him seem somehow what's the word? There's a word for someone who lacks ambition. There's like a pejorative term for it. Anyway, I will give him one thing though. As horrid as he looks in orange, the pumpkin head is a vast improvement on the face he was born with. Oh, I want like an old picture of them now, man. If they're not needy, they're obsessed. Like that renegade war marshal, Churai Ossa. He's on the list. Churai is on the list. I didn't think they were going to do others. I thought it was just going to be about Joko and Thorn, but they're going all around it as well. Like that renegade war marshal, Chirai Ossa. So remember, guys, Chirai is like the real hero that took down Palawa in a big way until us, I guess, recently. And I wish that there'd been more of in Guild Wars 2. So here it is. I guess this is the moment. He just keeps coming around, nipping at my heels. I suppose his tenacity might say something about his staying power, but it's really not cute. Oh, he doesn't go on. He doesn't say anything more. Talk to me more about Chirai. Hold on. So when was this written? So this diary must have been written before his fall at the hands of Chirai, right? Because I mean, this must be set before 200 years before Guild Wars 1. This must be before his imprisonment, surely. Because otherwise, someone else should make it on the hate list. You know, the Order of Whispers individuals that held him there for so long, right? I know that I am the eternal Palawa Joko, the all-powerful. They will never meet my like. I see why they want me as an arch-rival. They can never hope to have a more glorious death than at my hands. But I am frankly far, far out of their leagues. Have some pride. I'm just looking to scratch an itch here. I don't need a forever nemesis. I like the writing, man. I can imagine him saying, you know, you can just, his voice patterns, his cadence, everything. You can imagine that voice actor doing it, right? I don't need a forever nemesis. Or maybe I do. Is it too much to ask for a worthy adversary? One with stamina and a quick mind, who might even surprise me now and again? Oh! 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 Let's see here. Long live the Lich. I'm on Wiki right now, guys, because I do not have an encyclopedic memory of all this stuff. Long live the Lich. Be my guest. The last instance. So, check it out. Is it too much to ask for a worthy adversary, one with stamina and a quick mind, who might even surprise me now and again? Check it out. Joko says to us, right before his downfall in that last instance, Bram says, "We're coming for you, Lich." And Palawa Joko says, "I must say, the Ghost Army was a fascinating surprise. Not that it'll matter, but it was a nice touch." Okay? And does he also call us a worthy adversary? Here we go. Yeah, I remember this line. And this is Palawa speaking. And that's what it's all been about, eh, Commander? You and I, two comets on a collision course. War, plague, gods, dragons. I've seen them all. They come and go, like the tides. But a worthy nemesis, that is rare indeed. And then we say, cut the monologue, let's do this. And he says, by all means. Look at that! A worthy adversary. He calls us a worthy nemesis. That's pretty close, right? I wonder if the devs knowingly did that. I mean, I don't need to be the big Willy in Joko's life, to be honest. I love this hint at the necromancer, right? Who is this? Who was the necromancer that taught him? Who? Is it going to be related to Desmina or something? And where was this? Is this in Ore, in Kryta? What's the situation there? Alright, anyway. Read the treatise on the Veridical. Now, remember guys, Veridical... Sorry, I'm turning the fan off because it's getting cold and dark. Ugh, misery. The Veridical... What did that mean? Truthful, didn't it? A treatise on the veridical principles and signification of awakening, an academic and practical compendium of after-death adjurations by Vabian scholars. Serve Joko. Is this a reference to something I'm not quite getting? Aurene coming out of nowhere was a bit of a stain on it. They needed to establish a reason why Joko so bluntly ignored Aurene after witnessing her aiding the commander in Amnoon. I don't know. Is it really... I don't think that they needed to do that. I think that the idea behind the Aurene attack, right, was clear. I think attacking the plausibility of moments like that is kind of an exercise in futility. I'm sort of beyond that in a lot of ways. I see a lot of criticism for a lot of shows and stuff, and that they're always attacks on plausibility, as if that's a condemnation on the entire beat and idea. And I'm not in a place in my life where I care about that stuff anymore. To an extent, I do. Obviously, if it completely breaks my suspension of disbelief and it feels completely out of kilter with the rest of the game, the whatever, I can get behind it. But I feel like that's a bit of a dig to me. It doesn't ruin the moment. The only truth is to serve Joko. It's just a joke. It was Joko's ego that made him focus on the commander. I mean, yeah, we can rationalize it in our own ways, but that will never. In a situation like that where you wish the game expressed something, a headcanon rationalization, it doesn't really go too far. All right, what else we got? Joko's book club selections. So these are the books Joko wants people to read. Flaying in the Dying Light by Palawa Joko. These are gonna be references to real-world counterparts and novels and things, aren't they? They're going to be. Flaying in the Dying Light by Palawa Joko. I Know Why the Caged Human Screams by Palawa Joko. Eternal Unrest, a book of poems by EKPI Joko. Awaken and Be Grateful. How to Live Your Best Second Life by Your Master, Palawa Joko. 100,001 Elonian Nights by Palawa Joko. I get the reference to this one. I understand this one here at least. As I Stand Undying by Palawa Joko. These are all references to things, right? A Lich's Lot by Palawa Joko. Because Desolation by Palawa Joko. When Mummy's Awakened, a Papa Joko book for children by Palawa Papa Joko. I like the idea of Papa Joko. Palawa After Dark, Intimate Portraits by various privileged awakened artists. Wow, that last one. What was that line in Vabi? Like, it's the very few artists that are able to draw Joko in like a flattering way because he's just so grotesque and warped are given prominent positions. Any chance for the Necromancer School could be to do with Isgaren or Verata. That's a great idea, Benji. I would love to see that. I certainly think that we have a very limited selection of necromantic like cultures and groups. Early Prophecies played with it a bit, definitely, and Verata is kind of born out of that and the cult there. There's so much fun stuff they could do with that. That's got to be like a Wizard's Tower thing. That would be so awesome. Some kind of Wizard's Tower raid that nods to Joko and explains that the forefathers of the Verata cult trained Joko, and you know, Desmina was somehow related, and how does that tie into the Mystic Forge, the Shadow of the Forge? Well, they talk about Isgaren there. I'm telling you, a Titan at the end of the Wizard's Tower. I've been saying it for about a year now. That is the ultimate raid, all right? Come on, it's all to do with souls and soul experiments and corrupt and taking Minimancy as far as you possibly can. Isgaren is building his own foundry of failed creations, and a Titan comes out at the end. Isgaren is like the penultimate boss, and the Titan is the final boss, and a Guild Wars 2 version of a Titan. How cool would that be? Come on. The monsters that destroyed the Massat. Look how much we pooed ourselves over just Lazarus in this game. Alright? What about the army of creatures that wipe their asses with Massat? Alright? Let's have one of those as a raid boss. That'd be so cool. The Titans are badass. I want to see them in Guild Wars 2. And they're the perfect place for a side story as well. Because we don't need a main thing on the Titans. Alright, so that's Joko's book selections. Aphorisms of Joko, the eternal monarch of all. Alright, you guys ready for some lessons here? Number 1. A life spent straying from the path of Joko is not even... Wait. A life spent straying from the path of Joko is one not even worth awakening. Nobody crossed the desolation in a single day. Except Joko. Madness is a poor substitute for magnificence. Oh, that's shots fired right there. Shots fired at Mad King Thorn. To know Joko is to praise Joko. To praise Joko is to know Joko. I'm not being funny, but doesn't that sound like very, very, very close to oh, what's the term? I can't think of the term. Anyway, Mercy speaks to a lack of imagination. Ooh, that's horrible. Before making any major life decision, pause and ask yourself if it will please Joko. If no is your answer, then you know your answer. All are created equally inferior to Joko. There is nothing in existence so tedious as mediocrity. Hey, I believe in that. What's tedious about mediocrity? I don't know. You should never strive to be mediocre. If you want to be bored, follow a gourd. There is only one golden rule. Do unto others in whatever way serves Joko. And then a blank page 2 for our GCSE exam here. Is it a tautology? No. I was trying to touch on the real world's application and comparison and reminiscence that has. But I couldn't think of the phrase. You reckon some of this was planned for season 4 but cut? What you think? What do you mean? What, like the books in particular? Maybe. Read draft of a love letter page 2. Did we ever get the love letter page 1? Was that an earlier thing in Halloween, maybe? Much of the page is charred, as if it were rescued from a fire. The most special evening I have ever experienced. To gaze into your eyes, the twilight reflected, an eternity contained. There can be no other for me. I have lived and died every moment waiting for the gift of your everlasting companionship. That you would entertain my overtures, though I have but no titles, lands, nor family name to lay at your feet. I am overcome. Editor's note, scale back on the allusions to my generosity. I have not the words to express the fullness in my heart. Oh, great Joko, my existence is but to long for you. Every breath I take is but to beg for your attentions. I know that I cannot mean the world to you as you mean it to me. Yet, if I might even inhabit one flickering thought of your great mind, my very life would have achieved its pinnacle. Editor's note, you use great as a qualifier twice. Is that the extent of your vocabulary? Without the blessing of your presence, the sun, the sands, the warm caress of the breeze hold no appeal. I forget to eat while thinking of you. I cannot sleep. Dreams of you are no more fleeting than waking contemplations of your mellifluent voice, your soaring intellect, your ascendant countenance. Editor's note, I was assured that you were the premier bard, the preeminent what is this word? Troubadour? In all of Elona, worthy of this commission, have a care. Those who disappoint Joko tend to burn in the flames of their failures. Wow, so he's not impressed. Hold on, we have some learning to do here, guys. First, we're going to learn what a troubadour is. A troubadour was a composer and performer of old lyric poetry during the High Middle Ages. What does it mean to be a troubadour? To be one of a class of lyric poets and poet musicians, often of knightly rank, who flourished from the 11th to the end of the 13th century, chiefly in the south of France and the north of Italy, and whose major theme was courtly love. Wow. Look at that. How many of you guys in chat knew about troubadours before? I will not feign my ignorance. And the other word, mellifluent? Mellifluent. Look at this. Whoever said video games don't teach you things? I'll tell you what, when I'm watching TV, I don't take the time to Google things. So here's how we pronounce this.
Mellifluent.
Mellifluent. Okay. It's another term for mellifluous, which is a pleasingly smooth and musical to hear. Oh, so like my voice. My mellifluent voice. Okay, I see. And my soaring intellect. My ascendant countenance. Jesus Christ, he's talking about me. I need a bard. I need not just a bard, but a troubadour. That's what we need there, guys. Brilliant. You did know it's quite a common thing here? Okay, alright. Look, you can tell me you already knew. Don't tell me it's common and make me feel stupid. Alright, you're not allowed to do that. Check out how to pronounce troubadour then. Well, Google didn't prompt me for that, so I'm not going to. But okay, so this is a draft of a love letter that was written by a skald, a bard, that Joko is looking over and proofreading and is not happy enough with. And why is he not happy enough? I mean, he's got a good point. Using great as a qualifier twice. Scale back on the allusions to my generosity. I like... He doesn't want people to think of him as generous. He doesn't want people coming sniffing around. What does he have a care? I've never really heard that phrase used. In context, I get what he's saying. Alright, okay. Oh man, we're almost done already. Read the Scourge of Vabby's to-do list. Alright, let's see what we got here. Steve McGee, it's good to see you, man. Thanks so much. I'm going to clip the definitions of these words and show it at a bar to show women how cerebral I am. Yeah, listen, I don't know how good you are at Tinder, but all you've got to do is explain that you are very cerebral. If you explain how cerebral you are, you'll be done, my friends. All right? Everyone likes a cerebral man. I'm more cerebral than Picard, I tell you. All right, here we go. His to-do list. Commission a new scepter and crown. Everlasting tarnish is a thing. Interesting. Remodel the northwest wing of the Bone Palace. Centaur bones so last millennium. Oh, I love that reference to the Bone Palace there. Good, because, I mean, that was really the place. The most... Not Gandhara, not the Fortress of Jahai, not any of these other things. The Bone Palace... And we get to see it for about 2 seconds and then whiz on by in the story. But at least they're still talking about it and appreciating it's a big place. Griffins, maybe? Wings could just be the thing to add a little eclat. What is this word? I don't even know what that word is. Eclat? Let's see here. Brilliant display or effect.
Eclat.
Eclat. Okay. It's eclat, guys. Alright. Bit like an eclair, but you don't eat it. Alright, okay. Add details about a roller beetle championship to my legend. Okay. I like look at the what are they called? Characters that they're putting on the script here. Kill or awaken all current so-called champions. Scarabs. Research plague. Hey, he did this one. Post-plague merchandise. Spencer, I like this as well because obviously he does have merchandise stands. Spend some quality time in the Forbidden Vault. It wouldn't do for my harem to feel neglected or forgotten. Note, don't play favorites. I like that as well. Ongoing, rule it all. This is a really cool to-do list, to be honest. The person who wrote this really understands all the lore that exists for Joko and what he theoretically could be doing. Oh, look at this. Track down costs. Choose an appropriate place to hang him by his ankles. Above the Yolan Bluffs. Perhaps the Mouth of Torment. 5 centuries seems too beneficent. 7? Damn. Look, and he even respects this as a key locale. And again, despite the fact we whiz past it in just a couple of seconds, this is good stuff, man. They're really propping up POF's weaknesses by just, you know, mentioning these facets of the game. Deface the Sunspear Sanctuary. Get creative. Conscript / awaken vandals. Oh, what? In order to deface the Sunspear Sanctuary? Rewrite the history of Ara and birth of the gods. How to hint that I gave birth to them. Audition Joko understudies. Awaken the best stand-ins are useful when you're the director and the star. Consider a meditation practice. Question mark. Wow, so he likes to meditate, guys. This is really good. It really gets you into the mind of Joko. This really makes me want to play through Season 4 again. Yeah. They should have struck through the stuff he finished. That would have been nice, but I think they're very limited in what they can portray, to be honest. Oh, they do strike through? Is that the idea? Some of these are sort of done. So the asterisk means finished, right? Yeah. Because didn't he actually do this? Wasn't this one of the things we heard about already? I think so. All right, the penultimate one. The Book of Palawa Poetry, the first draft. All right, working title, Joko Rising. 2 on the nose, or just right? Isn't that always the question? Okay, number 1. Foul fall foretells winter. Winter worries into spring. Spring storms bring summer, swelter, and the sweltiest summer brought Joko the King. So I like it, right? So what we got is a bit of alliteration going on here, right? The F with the F, okay? And then we got the winter, the W, the winters, the winter worries, and the spring storms, and the summer sweaters, okay? I don't know, it's okay. Next, no mother could have birthed him. From no father did he spawn. Joko the singular simply sprang to being as Tyria purred along. Okay? So here we've got ABAB, I think, is a rhyming scheme. Correct? So we got him. Well, spawn and along is kind of like a half rhyme. And then him and being is kind of like a half rhyme as well. So I think that's an ABAB right there. All right. Look at this top quality literary analysis here. From a GCSE level that's a decade out of date. All right, next. Joko ended nothingness. Joko started time. And now Joko, who is bored, sends both meter and rhyme to be tortured and executed. Okay, I think I've read this one wrong. I'm waiting for the inevitable haiku there, by the way. I, Joko, the eternal monarch, scourge of Vabi, the beloved, most lauded poet, capturing life and torturing it, and then capturing its death. I like this whole like perspective of him that he does strive for more than just chaos and torture and death and killing people and all these just like completely cartoonish, over the top, ridiculous, like antagonistic facets. He does want to be like. What he lies about betrays what he actually cares about. And he cares about not just being feared and not just being loathed and not just being in charge. He cares about appearing an intellectual. He cares about appearing beautiful and here's a word, beatific, all right? He cares about being, like, respected. Oh, why is my alarm going off? What is this? Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second here. I'll be like two seconds. Team, be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. Yeah. There's depth behind the persona, which is part of why he's a great character. Yeah, and I mean, this expands on it. So, anyway, yeah, we got that. What next? And torturing that too, Poet King Joko, who has the screams of the tormented ringing in his ears daily, for it is Joko who torments. Sorry, is it each of these is meant to be a different poem? We're not all reading the same long poem, are we? Or are we? And torturing that too, Poet King Joko, who has the screams of the tormented ringing in his ears daily, for it is Joko who torments. Torments and is tormented by lack of a good help. Wait, what? Torments and is tormented by lack of good help. Please apply within. Hereby inscribes his name and a fraction of his honourable titles to begin at last his magnum opus, his masterpiece, an exquisite confection, this poem. The most noble Joko, born beneath a stormy sky, a student of sand and strife, willed into being by sweet suffering. Look at this. Do you think this is real? The born beneath a stormy sky? Another reference to him being a student. We heard about his necromancy teacher before, right? And I know that they're using this in a literary sense here, metaphorical sense. They're a student of sand and strife. But it is the same very precise word that's being used there as a comparison. Had no mother, no father. The cries for a god were answered. And the answer was Joko. Did he really have no mother or father? This is really good at enticing me to wonder about his backstory. Did he really have neither of these? Fully formed, fully realized, he sprang forth, and those who saw greatness served him. By Joko, this is already tedious. Must I really do this for another 100 stanzas? My time is eternal, and still I feel like I'm wasting it. So hold on. Who wrote this? Did Joko write this? That's surely not. He's not bored of writing about himself, is he? Maybe he is? Working title, Joko Rising, 2 on the nose or just right? He's got other people writing stuff for him before. No, he did have a mother and father, unless he was an orphan. We at least know that he was a normal dude learning necromancer. Why do we know he was a normal dude? We don't know that he was a normal dude. Returning to his other thing, he's literally just saying here, one of my earliest people I didn't like, we were 17. I admit that I fumbled a bit and was regrettably unsure of myself back then, but I was young and youth should excuse a bit, don't you think? I was so very offended by his audacity that I was not my best. The imbecile had the nerve to challenge me for the premier place by the side of my necromancy teacher. It was before I became a lich. Like, he had a time before he was a lich. I fully appreciate that. And that's good, by the way, that the devs actually mentioned that. Like, Kilbron had time before he was a lich. Joko had a time before. Well, but what was he before he was a lich? Not necessarily a totally standard human, right? Not, I mean, that's the obvious answer and the less complicated answer and the one we should definitely understand and go for. I'm just saying there's space for... And obviously, he's not a god, right? And obviously, he wasn't manifested into being because people wanted a god and there wasn't one, so then they made Joko. This is obviously all propagandist bullshit, but... You learn about his mother later. Oh, wait, hold on. We did have a reference to a mother, didn't we? Somewhere. Or was that mentioned in chat on yesterday's stream? I can't remember. But okay. All right, so let's just say this is a third party that was writing these. And it is all one long thing, right? Like each stanza going to the next thing. It's twice in this that they've said, no mother could have birthed him. From no father did he spawn. Joko the singular simply sprang into being as Tyria purred along. Had no mother, no father. The cries for God were answered. So is the idea then that he did have a mum, and we'll learn about the mum in a minute, and suddenly this is a really fascinating character, but is what the devs are driving at is that Joko the necromancer, Joko the dictator, would have viewed his conception that the circumstance of his birth and his life and his parents as a weakness, as devaluing the legend and the myth and the mystique. So he tries to write them out of history, and he tries to create poetry and stories and things that basically suggest he just sprang immaculately into being like the son of God, right? Like that's the idea, you know. And there's but there really was a mum, and we're about to learn in the final writing, are we? Is this it? Here we go. Private property of P.I. Joko. P.I. Joko? Palawa Ignatius? Private property of Palawa Ignatius Joko. Do not touch. Dear diary. So hold on. What I'm guessing is this diary up here. It still says do not touch. Look at this. But I think this is before his downfall to Chirai. The way he's talking here about Chirai is just prodding at him. He doesn't really... He hates Chirai, but he doesn't really hate Chirai. So I think that this is before he's imprisoned. He would have mentioned stuff to do with that. It's a shame that Halloween, again, has not mentioned his imprisonment. So I'm guessing that this document is maybe like 450 to 500 years old right now, right? Before his imprisonment. And now I'm guessing this one, which he opens his diary the same way. This must be him as a little boy. That's my guess. That's what I'm thinking here. Yeah, look at this. The first line. Allow me to catch you up. Everyone in Crater is an idiot, and I hate it here. Dude! Okay, alright, here we go. So, confirmed, he was in Kryla. Okay. And that's why he knew King Thorn, because King Thorn became the king of Kryta, and, it, you know, so there was the suggestion they knew each other growing up. So, Palawa was Krytan. Well, but hold on, though, because he's saying here everyone is an idiot, so maybe he is a foreigner to Kryta. Maybe he is actually native to Elona. All right. Are they going to hint about the downfall and the original unleashing of the Scarab Plague here? Private property of P.I. Joker. I reckon this is him as like a kid in his youth. This is the 17-year-old boy. And look at how smart the devs are, right? They've opened and they've bookended the whole thing, right? You've got a bit of a frame narrative going on here. Well, not really. That's not the right term. Anyway. Blah, blah, blah. Allow me to catch you up. Everyone in Kryta is an idiot, and I hate it here. There's a twit of a princeling who can't seem to stop pulling the wings off of flies over and over. Does he expect a different result? I'm sure he was dropped in his overly round head as a babe repeatedly. You know, this reminds me of that Game of Thrones scene where the Lannister brothers are... I won't spoil things, but they're in like a prison cell. And they're having a conversation about one of their cousins who was not all there in the head and would continue killing beetles over and over and over again. And Tyrion is talking about his curiosity towards it. I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere else in the Halloween content between the two games there is already a reference to Mad King Thorn having done this. I'm guessing this is Mad King Thorn that they're talking about here. It's not as if the flies survive, have the capacity to spread rumors about his cruelty. What possibly could be the point of going back to that well? So short-sighted, so wasteful, so uninspired. Interesting. You'd think, like, this is the point where you'd expect a moral obligation. Here's a real story. Earlier today, there's been a fly in here that just hasn't got out through the window for however long, and it's the same like little fly, and I know it's the same fly. It's been here for like 2 weeks, and it just flies around the monitors a bit sometimes. It's a little bit irritating, and then it disappears. And I like never kill bugs. I really don't kill bugs. I always release them. I feel terrible if I kill bugs, but I just on instinct just grabbed it in my fist. This tiny little innocent fly that's been following. They've been around here for like 2 weeks. And I just killed it in an instant, and I felt really bad. I don't know why I felt so bad. I think it's because it had been around for so long. I was like, why did I just kill that fly? I feel so bad. It was honestly like such a small fly, you couldn't really even see anything except the fact that it was a black dot that was float around. And I feel horrible, even remembering back. So here's where you'd have the moral obligation, but no, Joko just thinks he's uninspired. What a monster. Today, in the spirit of magnanimity, I pointed out a few creatures that might survive torture and be of use afterward. The coddled simpleton is surrounded by servants, ready to suffer and to even thank him for the attentions. To my utter horror, he responded by engaging me in a contest of puns. It was atrocious, and I couldn't extricate myself quickly enough for comfort. May have actually met him in battle for several volleys, but that's between you and me. It's so boring here. I will be overjoyed when this ordeal of Mother's diplomatic tours comes to an end. Yours, Iggy. Iggy? Oh, obviously Ignatius, right? Wow, that feels like a mind blow though. Iggy. I wonder if that's appeared anywhere before. So hold on, he had like a pet name for himself when he was younger, Iggy? Is that the first time we've seen that? I have to wiki this now, I have to know. Has that come up ever before in the game? Iggy. As far as the Guild Wars 1 wiki is concerned, the phrase Iggy never appeared on a string of dialogue or item or anything anywhere in the game ever. That's as far as Guild Wars 1 is concerned. As far as Guild Wars 2 is concerned, Iggy... Iggy has only ever appeared here on this page as well. Interesting. Wow. I wonder, guys. I wonder whether we'll see some reference to this. This is really setting up a really exciting, like, thrilling backstory, isn't it? This is good world building. This is intriguing, isn't it? So all we learn about the mother is that mother has diplomatic tours. The devs were really smart about this, you know. They feed you the current diary and how he keeps some of the same things but is completely debauched and crazy at this point. They have the poetry and stuff. They really drive home the idea that he doesn't want anyone to know about his parents at all. Like, it appears multiple times here in this poetry draft, only to then drop the bombshell. There were very real circumstances of his young life, and to make us wonder who the mother was. The mother on diplomatic tours. So, hold on. He's in Kryta amongst royalty. Because he's amongst Prince Thorn, right? This is the prince. Right? Descendants of Doric. Really? Right? That's totally a thing. Mad King Thorn. We're talking noble blood in Kryta. He's a little boy. And not only is there one fucked up little boy, Oswald, there's also Iggy here as well. This is something we won't see ever again since he is dead. Well, is this everything for Halloween? Because, you know, the idea that his essence could appear in the mist somehow, with his corporal body completely destroyed, it was an idea. And stuck in the mad realm. Bit harsh. He's just different. I don't know, man. You don't think that sounds like a messed up little boy? I know it seems somehow unethical to point a finger at a child, but to be honest, let's call a spade a spade. If a kid is like the only affront to this person's morality is that they're uninspired in how they're killing living creatures. I'm sorry, that's fucked up. It's just they're a kid. You can't coddle it. That's pretty bad. And besides, he's obviously quite eloquent. He's old enough to have a reasonable vocabulary going on. He used the word magnanimity there. Look, atrocious. I can extricate myself. I mean, we're not talking about a 7-year-old here, are we? At least. We're talking about, like, 14, 15. You've got a pretty clear worldview at that point. And he's written very snobby as well, isn't he? I'll be overjoyed when this ordeal of mother's diplomatic tours comes to an end. This is cool. The general implies that there'll be a new Thorn Joko content next Halloween. I mean, yeah, it just depends on how hard the current events team can pick. Wouldn't it be cool if, as the current events team, you basically get control of the Joko arc now because you've got Halloween? Like, to some extent, he becomes your property or whatever. It sounds like Draco Malfoy. Yeah, he is very Malfoy-esque, right? Yeah, that's a good comparison there. Wow. And I like the thing here about how they met with several volleys. I want to read his first the more contemporary diary as well again. Who's he speaking to here? To all the ones I've hated most, why couldn't you have been worthier? Who is he talking to? This is a diary entry written. He's not asking his diary that, is he? I know that the idea is it's Dear Diary, today I did blah, 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 blah. But this sounds more like he's writing in the diary as like an outlet to, you know, something. You know, like you write a letter to someone, never intending sending it, just to get it off your chest. You put it in the diary, right? Sounds almost like he thought he had an arch nemesis, but then he beat the arch nemesis and he's now disappointed. So he goes to his diary, huffed out at the end of the day, and he says, to all the ones I've hated the most, why couldn't you have been worthier? And at the end, he's saying, you know, I don't need one, or maybe I do. Is it too much to ask? So what catalyzes this diary entry? WP hasn't kept a diary before, confirmed. It's true, actually. I've never written in a diary. I've been tempted to, though. Definitely. I think it would be really cool. And I think it would be a cool technique as well to make the years and days and months feel longer than they are, you know, because you reflect upon your day at the end of the day. You probably have better recollection of your life, and thus everything feels more eventful and longer when you look back. Does anyone want to be my friend? Oh, Huey Snowpaw. Oh. I'm sure someone does. I guess he had expectations they didn't live up to, which is why he hates them. Or in truth, they proved themselves superior, and Joko feared they would. But who's them? And who's Zuri? I mean, the very explicit age of 17 is given here. So I wonder if the devs are kind of suggesting, hey, this was also written when he's 17, you know, 17 in both. It doesn't actually nail that down, but I would guess, right? You should excuse a bit, don't you think? I was so very offended by his audacity. That was not my best. The imbecile had the nerve to challenge me. Naivety of the youth. He stabbed someone in the back.
I will draw out your death, Father. I learned things in that box. Starvation.
And he uses it. He refers to his life, his pre-lichdom, as just back when. He doesn't like. It's evasively written. It doesn't put anything in stone.
That's not food. That's
And we don't hear about the actual moment of him becoming a lich either. There's so much cool stuff. They've layered it in really well, and there's a lot to question and wonder about. And I love how we're reading all of this about Joko. I don't know whether this was developer intended at all, but it's really cool to read and immerse ourselves and fully buying into the story of Joko, while King Thorn himself is here. Literally, Thorn is here, chatting with Oswald, right? And like he's got his whole other different drama going on and his whole other different story, and it's like, you know, that's good stuff there. The game feels big and awesome there when they do that, you know. Like, Joko is just a footnote in Thorn's story, and Thorn is a footnote in Joko's story, right? But nonetheless, they're quite big, prominent characters. Joko feels about Zuri the way that you, WP, felt about Yijo Tan. Hell yeah, let's stab him in the back then. Yeah! Screw you, Yijo. Screw you, teacher's pet wanker. Alright, so have I missed any details there, you guys? Anything that you think I should have taken away from that I didn't? I'd love to hear. I mean, I'm game for getting a bit deeper into it. What's going on as well with the voice acting I heard that was in the release? Should we watch Rileski's video together or something? What if Joko and Zuri was one of the first humans in Tyrion, the ones the gods bring, and Joko's teacher was the first god of death? Well, that would... why in Kryta? No, I have a feeling that it's a bit after humans are established on the continent. I think that's fair, and I think that it's a bit after Doric is come and done, and his descendants have come down, and we've started to get like a royal family tree, and things are starting to... I don't think it could be right at the genesis of human stuff, and I don't think it needs to be either. I don't think that would be exciting in a way, but that can be its own story with its own stuff going on, and you know, deep history. You know nothing about this Halloween except what's come from this. You mean these streams? If Joko knowing Thorn from his pre-Lich days knew, or previously established, that they had a long history was definitely established. I don't really... It could have been. It could have been established that they knew each other pre-life. And there's probably an easy way to check as well. It's just that there's really a web of story in Guild Wars 1. There's just so many quests. Mad King Thorn from the Guild Wars 1 wiki. During his reign, Crita suffered severe famine while Thorn held exquisite banquets for his courtiers. This made him unpopular with the commoners, an effect he exacerbated by once having a number of villagers skinned alive. He travelled to Elona on multiple occasions and is said to have had many squabbles over the years with Palawa Joko, who was an up-and-coming king in Elona at the time. King Thorn hates the Tengu, Harpies, Ettins, but fears termites. He once had a spat with Quetzalcoatl, which is a creature in Elona, one of the Elonan quests. So what was known was that they had squabbles over the years. And then the Scarred Psyche event, which was Palawa Joko v King Thorn, had a lot of dialogue. Where Palawa Joko says, "Did you think I would forget your transgressions, Thorn? This time I have come for you." And Thorn says, "Oh, give it a rest, Joko. Everyone knows your bark is worse than your bite." And Joko says, "Bah, I can smell your pumpkin breath from here. Enough talk. We will settle this in battle, Thorn." And Thorn says, "Joko's forces are coming from all sides. Make sure to leave enough forces to defend me. If I go down, I'm taking you all with me." Ha 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 ha. If you don't defeat Joko in the battle Scarred Psyche within 30 minutes, Mad King Thorn says, "I warned you to do this quickly. Now you will all suffer for your lethargy." And Palawa Joko says, "Leaving so soon? Pie for brains." And Mad King Thorn says, "I'll be back next time. I'll choose my pawns more carefully." There's another interaction between them where Thorn says to Joko, "I say, you are a glutton for punishment. Each time you come back, you get monumentally defeated by this person, that person, some Ossa person." And Joko says, "Why don't you just quit now? Go home and play with your stupid invisible pony." And Mad King Thorn screams, "No one insults Mr. Gumdrops." Mad King Thorn also says, "Another one bites the dust," again. And Palawa says, "I'm going to use your head as a chamber pot, Thorn. Only then it would be filled with something of substance." They have lots of quips back and forwards where Mad King Thorn is joking and stuff and Joko is just really annoyed. I don't see any reference to them being alive together. This was first added in Halloween 2011, by the way, which was the last Halloween update before Guild Wars 2 came out. So this is really late. So yeah, there was established stuff with Joko and Palawa before that, but Joko and Thorn, sorry, before that, but not much. Yeah, and there was the thing with the princess, right? Yeah. The Thorn had a princess, you know, one of his many wives or whatever was Vabian, and there was the crossover stuff. I don't know, literally, honestly, that I have videos that will teach you everything about it that I don't even really fully remember at this point. His hate for Zuri was out of jealousy. He's I am very smart, over-embellishing because it sounds like he was a lonely child. His mother moving around with a noble, she didn't have time for him. He writes his diary like, "I'll show those kids at school. Those ones who bullied me for being different," kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. And what does the Mad King think of this now? There's not even any dialogue from Thorn about Palawa's death. There's nothing. Can I speak to, like, his steward? Just says you can do what you want. Thorn wants to be the one to kill Joko, right? Not us. And so that's why we hide it or whatever. Wynn, who we met in Halloween 2012, said the spells that kept his body parts hidden are weakening under strong magical willpower. It has, after all, been 500 years since we cast them. So the Mad King Thorn died in 825 AE, which means that if he was a kid, we're around the year 800, right? Yeah. 757, you think? Joko came into prominence in 757 by constructing the Bone Palace. So he must have met Thorn before that. That would mean Thorn died very old. But the timelines are a bit weird. I doubt the devs have thought too much about it. 2 miles, love the lore. Thanks very much, Mighty Goo. It's great to see you. Thank you very, very, very much. That's a lovely sub. I don't know what more we can get from it or where the devs will go with it. I really do think, though, that there's kind of, you know, that this Guild Wars 2.5 or, you know, True Wars 2 or whatever you want to call it, could be really, really interesting to go back to that period of time, you know. Asuran Arena, Net. Give it to me. Look at this. Look at this, guys. The Asuran Arena, the new PvP map. It's not going to be a Conquest map, though. That's so sad. Give us more Conquest maps. Just doing well. Sounds like Joku didn't have many friends, but met Thorn through the Royals. The only kid that would hang out with him was messed up in the head. This probably influenced him to take his jealousy out on Anzuri later in life. I don't know whether the devs would have thought that coherently through it all. Oh, honestly, guys, chat. What else is there now? Come on, we got the library, but what's the new dialogue and stuff? What's the new audio? What's Skyhammer if not an Asuran Arena? Well, it's Skyhammer. It's called Skyhammer, and it appears on the map also. Guild Wars 2 bonus mission pack? No, we don't need that, man. Doesn't need to be a Guild Wars 2 bonus mission pack. If they ever wanted to do that in Guild Wars 2, then they could just do it as a fractal. God, I'm hitting all the wrong buttons there. Doing bonus mission packs in Guild Wars 2 with what is already really convoluted and frustrating to explain to people with the buying of episodes and stuff is just not a good idea. Don't make it even more complicated on how to get people to get all the content and stuff. We don't need a season 1 pack. We just need season 1. That's all we need. According to Raleski, there is no new dialogue. I haven't spotted any new lines either. Oh, I see. Right, so he did a video documenting all the dialogue, but it's just, you know, the festival in general. What god? What good guy, man. So he did that, you know, that's not just a race to the bottom for, oh, new stuff, new stuff. He's actually cataloguing properly. That's really good. What a legend. Ascension Pilgrim in Guild Wars 1 claims Joko held scriptures of Abaddon. When you're in the Realm of Torment, I'm guessing, right? And some of the random dialogue that procs up when you spam click on them. It was a wordplay about the bonus mission pack. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. That's the Joko lore. And so what is that it with Halloween? I'm done now, except Reaper's Rumble. So, let's see. I will try to play some Reaper's Rumble between now and tomorrow's stream. And if it's really fun and I'm really inspired by it, we might do a Reaper's Rumble stream tomorrow. And we'll fill it up and we'll have lots of gameplay in there and we'll do awesome stuff. And maybe we can get a good stream out of it. If not, though, I might not have been inspired. I might not have learned about it at that point. So what I might do tomorrow is something else Halloween related. We might do the Labyrinth. We might look at some of this other stuff. I don't really know. The one thing I really cared about was the Lunatic Finery. And, of course, doing what we just did there with the lore and the new achievements for the festival stuff. But now that I've got that category done, all this is infinitely repeating, right? All of it, I think, anyway. Infinite, infinite, infinite. Oh, no, this one. Oh, so the annual ones I need to do once. So we could do a stream where we do those. I don't know. That sounds a bit boring, though, doesn't it? Might be a bad idea. You also need to do the Halloween race below 60 seconds. Maybe, yeah, but I've barely touched it. So, I mean, that'd be a bit of a weird stream. You do them all once for the meta. Yeah, so maybe I'll do everything once. Yeah, and we get a mini haunted candle. Oh, yeah! Wait! Hold the phone. Were there new Guildhall decorations? But can do infinite for bags. Yeah. The infinite ones you can farm bags. Were there new decorations? You know what's crazy? I don't even know where the decoration trader is here. I've actually not gone to the trader since we moved to this hall. Does anyone know where it is? They're usually... Oh no, here he is. He's right here, right at the start. Okay. Maybe I have been to it. I just forgot. But so we got pumpkins, right? Which become... Hold on. Let me go to the scribing character. There are new ones. They're called bones, are they? Are there new racetrack decorations? Did I get the Joko decorations from episode 4? No, the Jahai Bluffs added some new stuff, and so did the new raid, obviously. And I haven't looked into or got those. I haven't crafted any raids, trophies, or, you know, any of that stuff for the most recent wing. We are a little bit behind there, to be honest. The Bazaar of the Four Winds as well. Did they add new decorations with that? I can't remember. Oh, they did, yes, and I covered those, yeah. That was like Beetle stuff. I never crafted many, though. I only crafted a couple for demonstration purposes, and I think no one else is really doing it in the guild at the moment. So I think we're not really that good at the moment. All right, but hold on. So scribing in this hall is done over there, it must be, right? So we'll get on this guy. Yeah, there's that teleport item, the doubloon thing, right? Yeah. Which is pretty exciting, actually. So, scribing station. And then all I have to do is type in pumpkin, right? No. Pumpkin smasher. Wait, see, we only have one of these. Is this new? That's not new. What's the component that makes these all up? I can't remember what the component is. Jack-o'-lanterns? No. Yeah, no, it's pumpkin. Look, pumpkin. Was I just spelling it wrong? No, I wasn't spelling it wrong. What? Literally walking past them the bridge? What are you talking about? I'm well aware. What are you talking about, the bridge? We got a Halloween bridge, do we? Oh, right here. I see. Oh, so somebody has been doing it actually already then. Is this all that was new? This is crazy good. What? Really? Dudes. Oh, candy corn was what the item was as well, right? Yeah, candy corn. Oh, I see. Yeah, I did totally miss this. Yeah, look, you guys have got to understand, I don't spend much time in this hall, so being 100% on what has changed about it and where, you know, I'm not. But yeah, okay, I see. Damn, that's kind of nice. Hold on, do they actually curve as well then? So are there different kinds that, like, one arcs right, one is like a center? This is a centerpiece, right? This one is like a left leaning or a right leaning, and this one is in the other direction, isn't it? And then we've connected. This was from the Bazaar of the Four Winds, which again, like, this is what I was talking about with bridges before. And then this is like another centerpiece here again. Or does this one actually count as like a ramp? Yeah, I can imagine. They are 100% Beetle oriented with their stuff now, aren't they? Oh, it's good. You know, I get major Sonic vibes from this right now. What happens if I ramp up the sides? Oh, it keeps you in as well. Nice. I wonder as well, you know, whether we'll see oh, and we've got lots of the Lake Doric things underneath. That's kind of nice. I wonder whether we'll see this in Living World upcoming. Have any of you seen this asset in the actual maps? I haven't. This was an asset in the Jahai Bluffs at all, was it really? So I wonder if the next map will feature a lot of this, because it would be very unlike them to make it purely for the purpose of being a Guildhall decoration. You know, usually you find that they make this stuff and it's repurposed in other ways. How did ArenaNet not make a giant skeleton beetle track? What, for the Mad King's Raceway? Yeah, well, maybe they did in testing or something. I don't know. And then they just went with the Reaper's Rumble thing. There's definitely an idea of like a race course that they can build that is traveling across vast territories, you know, like actually, because some of the best community beetle races are community made ones at the moment that are just circuits around the maps. And I mean, the PF maps are huge, but even these kind of core ones, right? Like there's a really good Mount Maelstrom one that literally is just like this, right? But it takes you up enough roads and things across bridges. And I like the idea of having a beetle race. I said this to Boots in the video we did. You know how Araz Story kind of is a map just to facilitate airship travel? I love the idea of a Beetle Raceway that it's just a huge map where you just travel really, really far on stuff like that. You know, the last instance of this most recent release kind of exactly was that, except it wasn't a Beetle thing. It was Raptor designed, right? Low gravity Raptor jumping, but you know that idea. It's a whole PvE environment tailor-made to present that experience of moving through it on a mount, right? And so yeah, that would be the Beetle's a weird one though, because they can't put too much time or effort into it, I guess, because some people won't have episode 3, so not everyone will have the Beetle. WP, you've had a few subs the past few days, me being humble. Yeah, I've tried to call out as many as possible. Sel Horace, it's great to see you. It's a boy. I've named him Dusty, you said. Okay. 9 months as well. That's awesome, dude. I think I've called out everyone's name, haven't I? What the fuck? My stream audio died a few minutes ago. I'm wondering why you went quiet. Well, look, I mean, the stream's over anyway. I mean, we're calling down here. We gotta finish this up. The Joker stuff was very cool. I'll be back for more Halloween tomorrow. And if that's Reaper's Rumble, awesome. If not, it might be some more generic Halloween stuff. Not entirely sure just yet, but we will figure it out. I love the way that Liz scratched her head there as I was speaking. It was kind of very much in line with what I was saying. So yeah, that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly did. Very, very keen to hear more about Joko's necromancer trainer and his potential relations to the cult of Verata and his mother and stuff as well, actually. Certainly. So cheers, guys. Send me a PM if you feel I missed anything, and I'll be back very shortly in just 22 hours or so. Cheers, guys. See you next time.